Welcome back. I thought while I still had some time, maybe I could answer the question for um, what week is that? Week 25, which is what does this time of year mean to you? And so I'm going to answer this question in the context of the week in which it actually fell in, to which was around summer solstice. So, the summer solstice, um, the summer solstice means a time of light and a time of happiness and a time of heat and a time of children playing and laughter and just all around happiness to me. Um, the summer is a hard season for me due to my allergies and due to the heat. The I am very sensitive to the heat, um, which I got from my father. He was very sensitive to the heat in that if it was too hot and he was too active, he would pass out in the heat. And for me, I've never passed out in the heat because I know my limits. And so when I got to the point where I felt very lightheaded and dizzy, I would sit and I would drink water or whatever to cool down. I wouldn't just keep being active. He would just keep being active. Um, Growing up, my mom and my stepfather used to tell me stories about him when he was younger because they all grew up together. And they would tell me how in the summertime, my stepfather and his brothers, well, they were my cousins, so my father's cousins, um, would go to his house and, some of their friends and pick him up to go play ball. And they all knew, it's hot. He shouldn't be out there playing ball, but they would go play basketball. He would get overheated and pass out. And so they would have to carry him home. And they would do this all the time. To me, that's crazy talk. To me, no, not happening. So, and I've worked in a summer camp for many years out of high school. From the time I was actually no, before I was out of high school, I started working at summer camps when I was 15. So from the time I was 15 to about 19 or 20, I've worked at summer camps as a camp counselor. And whenever we had outside play and it got too hot, I would sit. I would have to sit. There was no other option for me. Even now, and when I get overheated, I get very cranky, and I get very short-tempered, and I recognize this, but it's still hard for me, and so I try not to get overheated as much as possible. So for me, the physicalness of the season is a hard thing for me because of the heat, the flowers and everything are in bloom while I have allergies. However, over the last few years, they actually have not been as bad as they used to be. I think moving out here, the first few years, they actually were worse. But after a while, I don't really get bad allergies anymore. They just are more of an annoyance than just really bad. So I still get the scratchy eyes and the itchy nose, and the sneezing, and sometimes in the mornings when I wake up, I have that sore throat feeling, but it's nowhere near to the degree it used to be. But summer also brings summer solstice and summertime also. It's a feeling of happiness and joy because you hear kids playing and laughter. And growing up, for me, it was always fun. Summer was always fun, and we'd be outside playing, and we'd go to the beach all the time and things like that. Here they don't have a beach, so we don't go to the beach, but we have a pool where we live, so we do that. So it's always been filled with times of games and everything. Summer solstice also brings about not a new beginning, but a shift. A shift in, like, Imbolc, and even Beltane were beginnings to me. Well, Imbolc was more of me preparing for a beginning. Imbolc was a time where I have this need to clean. I have to clean everything. I don't really have that need now this time of year, but I have spurts. But Imbolc is a time where it's like I have to. This has to be set in order, and it was like a preparation. Beltane was more of a beginning time. We're going to be moving into this season of brightness and cheer and things being able to get done. And now I'm in that season of things are going to be happening, and they're starting to come to fruition, kind of thing. So this is that time of year where I start to try to implement some of the plans I might have made earlier in the year. I'm still making plans, actually. I have a whole big transition in life that I feel is coming up, and so I am preparing for that. But I'm digging deeper into more of just the bare bone structure of things to get what I need going. So it's more of a we're getting there, and things are going to be coming to a fruition kind of time to me, especially this year. More so this year than any other year, really, for me. But yeah. So, but it's also a time of, like, my eldest girl. She's out of school. She does go to summer camp, but she's having all these exciting experiences at camp. They're doing all these things, and so every day when I ask her, "How was your day today? What did you do?" There's all these different things every day that she's coming back with, and her excitement is like exciting to me. Yeah, so basically this time of year for me is not quite like a finalization of things, but we're moving into that time where we'll be able to reap what we sow, kind of thing. So in effect, yeah, we're moving into that time where we'll be going into a harvest season next. So for me, it's kind of like that. Life is kind of like that to me, like especially this year more than any other year. It's okay, I'm working harder on, like right now I'm currently working on, I have been getting together information on basically managing my home better. So now I've collected and compiled a lot of information and a lot of things, and now I'm putting it all together, and I'm also creating like a home management binder now, and I've gotten together my thoughts and how I want to go about creating this home management binder. What do I want in it? And so now is the time that I'm putting it all together, and soon I'll be moving into, and this is another thing, moving into the fruition of, once I get all this together and everything in place, how I want the home to run, be moving more into coming to a fruition kind of thing, like seeing how well, hopefully, all that I have planned, how well the house is running, how well, I'm taking care of my children and my husband and, my family. I think more and more my stepson doesn't need me as much. He's hardly even here anymore. But a lot of what I do, it still includes him, because he's my son. I mean, he's my stepson, but he's my son. I've raised him since he was 11. So, anyways, yeah, so that's basically what this time of year is for me. It's moving from getting prepared for things to starting to lay down that groundwork and to build, and then moving into a time where I get to see the fruition of what I've done. Um, you know, around, well, no, it was before Beltane. Like around between Emok and Beltane, I had planted some seeds, and I think I've taken pictures of it. Yeah, and I had it on my Facebook and my Instagram. But now, like, my tomato plant is really, growing. So I'll be so excited to see if this continues, because anyone who's followed me over the years have known I've had a very hard time when it comes to plants. I think this is actually my most successful year with them. So we'll see. But it's also, like I said, it's also a time of cheer. The sun, and I love having like the shades open. Like, you can see all the light that's coming in right now, and I don't even have all the shades open. It's bright and it's cheery, and I get to hear sometimes the children outside playing, my children playing, and it's full of laughter and joy. So that's what this time of year is to me. That's what Beltane is to me, and summer is to me, is happiness. I don't know how else to describe it. So that's it. So thanks for watching, and blessed be.